there's really just four business models that a lot of these things kind of ladder into. Each one I've labeled as like a product business, a content business, an arbitrage business, or a service business. And if you can really understand those four, then you understand I'm not here to squash your dreams. I'm just here to help you see that there's people preying on your dreams. There are people preying on your desire to find a 9-to-5 escape or find side hustle income.
Like, there are different entrepreneurial aspects you can bring to work every day to succeed. And if you want to find something adjacent to what you do or just the knowledge that you have, you can monetize it, right?
Just because I have been leveraging it since ChatGPT was in beta, it is a very, very powerful tool. We're in some type of moment in our society that's similar to when the internet came around, right? And a lot of people had these doom and gloom things about the internet changing jobs and losing jobs. And this actually happens throughout history over and over again.
Welcome to another episode of Everything Entrepreneurship, the podcast, the place for ambitious employees, working professionals, those climbing up the corporate ladder, and my working entrepreneurs as well. As you can hear in the background, I have some yard work going on, and I'm going to do my best to overcome adversity, as I always advise you guys. I have the pleasure, and I apologize again. I'll see if I can down the audio and post for you guys. But I have the pleasure of having Ryan from Side Hustle Reviews here, and I wanted to bring him on because after consuming his content, it really resonated with what I'm trying to convey to you guys, which is there are strategic ways that you can make that second form of income. Some people don't necessarily want to do a whole business, start a LLC, all that other stuff. Sometimes it just takes a basic side hustle. So without further ado, I'd like to introduce Ryan to the podcast. Hey, Ryan.
Hey, thanks for having me, Kyle. Hello, everyone. And yes, the chainsaw in the background, easy to overcome. Easy to overcome.
Exactly. I guess it's just it'll be a fun story, but I guess I won't do much talking as this is an interview. I will
actually with the microphone there, you don't hear it as much. So yeah, just so you know.
Okay, that's good because they're doing a lot of work right now. But would you mind introducing yourself to the audience and letting them know a little bit about yourself, what you do, and who you are?
Yeah. So I'm Ryan, Side Hustle Review on TikTok, Instagram, YouTube. I have around 700,000 followers across those three platforms, maybe a little bit more. Yeah, I cover side hustles and how to make money online. For a gamut of things. Started about 2.5 years ago. And yeah, that's me. And I have a full-time job, dad with 2 kids, all that stuff.
That's pretty cool. And what I always like is the origin story. As I've become to make content, I've realized that I have to have a where did this come from? Why'd you start kind of thing. When it comes to you specifically, what was the turning point or the tipping point that said, you know what, I'm not just going to take this information for myself and find strategic ways to make extra money, but I also want to find a way to make content to help other people as well?
I think so. What happened was it was like 2022. I felt the unstableness of corporate America a bit. I also had a huge storm hit my house, and there was a bunch of water intrusion, and the insurance wouldn't cover it. So I was like in this 2 kind of phase program of like, I'm not really sure where my work is going in terms of my job, like how secure it is. But also I have this huge amount of repairs that I need to do. We're talking mid 5 figures that I needed to fix through my house. How can I figure out ways to pay for it? So I'm a digital marketer by trade. I have 15 years experience in marketing. I know affiliate marketing. I know drop shipping. I did drop shipping way back in 2005. If it's not obvious, I'm an ancient person. But like I knew all of this stuff existed. And so as I started to look for ways to make money online, a lot of these things popped up, and it didn't seem unreasonable. and because I knew what affiliate marketing was and how you can make money through YouTube channel, so I decided to start giving them a shot and try. And I saw so many people selling things, like selling how to do it and these academies and stuff like that, which a lot of them was like, I know a little bit more that I could probably reverse engineer it. So I started to just explore and try, and I kind of realized, like, you know, this isn't going to work. This is like, there's a lot more work than just pinning Amazon links to Pinterest and then hoping you're going to win. Right. I just knew that from my background. And I thought, like, me with all this experience, I literally pinned like 15 pins to Pinterest just because I saw it on a TikTok and saw what happened. If I did it with my full understanding of how this works and I still did it, man, there are people buying these courses. There are people buying these programs. So I need to document, like, the truth. I need to show what the real deal is. And then I just figured out that, like, a lot of the content on these platforms are people trying to sell a dream and not really advocating for the right work. But yeah, hopefully that covers my origins.
No, it definitely does, and I think most people have bought some sort of online digital product or course or something like that. Funny story, my marketing agency, before we started going for like small businesses and like big businesses, it started off with what I knew. I knew marketing, and I was at the car dealership, and I started myself and my company doing marketing for car dealerships off of a $60 course. Thankfully, I was able to not only get traction, but elevate that, bring on a partner who was a then mentor of mine, now business partner, who has 20 years of marketing experience. And we're able to rebrand, refocus, and just take it much further. So there are good stories that come from courses, but then you also have a lot of people that maybe not necessarily taken advantage of, but they don't have a good taste in their mouth, right? Um,
Yeah, yeah. I,
it's,
I,
it's so often
no, go ahead.
when you go, like, when I'm not just me, but when somebody is digesting your content, you speak about the four different categories that most side hustles or businesses fall into, and
Mhm.
then you also go over the misconception about just different tactics in those. Can you cover that briefly, because it really is like bringing so much to light that people just overlook on a day-to-day basis?
Yeah, so I think as I started to look through these various side hustles and what people were pitching, they'd pitch affiliate marketing or drop shipping or faceless YouTube channel. It's very obvious to me that they're double clicking on tactics, and that's only advantage to them, the person selling the course, in that it's something tangible. And then I did start buying some of these courses and realized, like, um, they make you feel like you did a lot when you really didn't do anything. So you put up a drop shipping store and everything like that, and you've accomplished. You have a website to show your friends and family that this thing is up and running. Do you have a marketing strategy? How are you going to drive, like, people to buy anything? No, but you spent your $3,000 on the course and you've got your website to show for it. So it's kind of like I needed to really peel back and use my experience and showing kind of what's out there, and how can I make it digestible for anybody to understand. So then I went into, there's really just four business models that a lot of these things kind of ladder into. um, each one I've labeled as like a product business, a content business, an arbitrage business, or a service business. And if you can really understand those four, then you understand where dropshipping fits in, right? Dropshipping could be an arbitrage business or it could be a product business. But once you understand the business model behind it, you could see the bigger picture. So before I up and put this drop shipping store, I need to understand my product business, which is relying on what? Relying on customers coming to buy my product, marketing to you start to see all the bigger pieces that you're going to need to get it working. That what I hope would help people kind of think before they invest and have the right questions for the coaches. Because I think, as you pointed out, I'm not anti-coach. I myself have aspirations to probably figure out how to coach people as well. But right now the space is so full of ickiness. And I think there's more louder people in the room that don't know what they're doing or trying to take advantage of people, that the legit coaches that can really add some value to your life kind of get buried and overshadowed. So I have really ambitious goals to try and address that as well.
You definitely are, even in just the content that you're making. You're showing up consistently. You're showing a lens of what people can really look at, and I think even a trend amongst the fast moving posts on Instagram or TikTok or just social media in general to try and move somebody into purchasing without maybe not necessarily due diligence,
Mm-hmm.
but you're also allowing some clarity. You know, it's not about saying it's not going to take some work or hard work. It's just about, hey, this is the broader picture, and if somebody can digest that and make a decision to move forward, it's good. You know.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah, for
What
sure.
would you say are the most common side hustles, or just the different paths that people go that they've told you, like, hey, you know what? I watched your content. Of all the things that you reviewed, I've tried this, and it's making me some money. What would you say are like the top side hustles that you found your audience has gravitated towards?
It really depends on the person's personality. I've found some people go, because I do cover, just quick apps that you can do, um, like I View It or Join Brands doing user generated content and things like that, that a lot of people say they've had success. Others have found me, I steer them in the right direction on something like Etsy print on demand. So they've had ambitions, they want to do it, realize that it's a bigger picture, that they have to treat it like a business, and with that mindset, and the right references, have been able to find the right mentors and coaches to get them in the right spot. Same with some Amazon FBA. There's some people that have made really good runs at that, understanding the full risk. And Amazon FBA is kind of a weird one because it's a broad term anyway. Amazon FBA can be leveraged in so many different ways, but one that's most common is where you're kind of a middleman. You basically find things that are cheaper at Costco, send it to Amazon, to send it off to people that are buying it through their site at a profit. Again, you have to do a lot of math and kind of look. It's an arbitrage business in the end of the day. And there have been people that have been successful at it. But understanding that you need a good capital to put forward. I've run into what made me kind of really talk about that one a little bit more is that when I first started, I got so many people, and this is so sad. And I don't look at anybody as being, you know, because I see it in my comments, people are like, well, I wouldn't be so dumb, or I wouldn't be, I don't look at it that way. But I've run into people that's gone into credit card debt, for Amazon FBA, because you do have to buy things in bulk at Costco. Let's say like $5,000 pallet worth of shampoo or something, and they get it into Amazon, and they weren't ready for the velocity of prices going down. So ultimately they spent 5,000, they only got 4,000 back. They've got $1,000 in debt. They got to figure out how to manage. And those are all risks to these types of business. And it takes a real good balance and a real good, thought process to do it. And I think articulating those things, and then someone still saying, I want to try, that is what I want. That is, because I'm not trying, and I'm very, very sensitive to it, to being discouraging. I'm not trying to be discouraging. I really just want people to go in with a sound mind and understand everything in the way. It's what a lot of these coaches kind of push me to be. If you look at my comments, you'll find some angry coaches. I never ban them or anything, but saying I'm
Really?
discouraging. Yeah, yeah, that I'm
Oh man.
discouraging, or I'm, I don't have the right spirit, or I'm negative. And I can see why them painting me that way could maybe speak to some. And it only is advantageous to them to paint me as a negative person. So I try to go out of my way to say I'm not negative, but I'm also not going to um over promise, over hype. And I think there's that hustle culture that I'm against, where it's like, just grind every day, get $10,000 a day, just, and I get what that is,
Uh,
but I think people, it's okay to have that mindset, but understand reality.
that makes sense, and it I'm in a similar boat because I'm always of the belief, and I speak to two main things. One, entrepreneurship isn't for everybody. You know, I've had consultations, like people pay me for a consultation, in which I've had a conversation and it finds out that they just need a new career path, you know?
Hmm.
Whereas anybody can go on one of these apps, they can follow the steps and stuff like that to get some extra income. I'm also of the belief that not all business is sexy, you know? Like
Yeah.
it's not about what is online, what's presented to you. And right now I'm developing a workshop for a real estate broker up in North Jersey where I can actually speak to his employees and let them know you can be more entrepreneurial without trying to quit your job. You know,
Mhm.
like though they are already entrepreneurial in spirit as real estate agents, like there are different entrepreneurial aspects you can bring to work every day to succeed. And if you want to find something adjacent to what you do or just the knowledge that you have, you can monetize it, right? But not
Yeah.
everything is sexy. Some of my biggest days, I'm literally just at the computer, just typing, sending emails, checking with different team members, stuff like that. It's not about all about what's flaunted, but I think as not just the coaches, but the advertising is getting more not just direct, but it's literally saying, hey, if these are your pain points and if you make over this certain threshold of money, come sign up. And I think it can be very predatory in some instances, you know?
Yeah, I think I called that. I think in one of my pins on Instagram, I say, I'm not here to squash your dreams. I'm just here to protect you from, or even protects a little too uh, more godly. I'm not a protector of anything, but more to help you see that there's people preying on your dreams. There are people preying on your desire to find a 9 to 5 escape or find side hustle income. And when you go into the program, it's all a selfish program for themselves and not to help you. And one thing I get in my comments a lot, which I'm always so surprised, is, if anybody was successful at this, they wouldn't teach anybody, right? They wouldn't teach anybody. And I always argue back, like, that's not true. A sound business person is always looking for a way to diversify income.
Yeah, capitalize. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. I see Etsy coaches for sure making $200,000 a year on Etsy and willing to show other people to get another 60, 70K revenue stream into their bottom line. Like, that's totally possible. And in their point of view and their expertise, there can never be enough competition. It's a marketplace. Like, it's just like as I joke about, if you go into an oversaturated, then there would never be a new burger stand ever in your life. Like, never new taco stand in your life, because there's millions of taco stands. It's oversaturated. Yet people open and successfully run burger and taco stands every day. Is it easy? No. Is it simple? Absolutely. You grill some burgers, put some bread, you got it. And it's really understanding that difference between simplicity and something easy, and how you're going to position yourself and position the business that you're in. But oversaturation, I think, can be a mental blocker for many, but it's nuanced. It's nuanced.
It definitely is. And sometimes I always relate it back to advising people to find what's best for them in their context, you know? And
Hmm.
my content I always speak to, we're real people, real lives. Not everybody can just commit every single day. Like there might be that 3% or 5% that can just hear something and just follow it, regardless of the little voice in the back of their head saying, I don't know if we could do this or whatever it might be. And my mission is if 100 people sign up, like 100 coaches sign up 100 students, the success rate is typically low, and they always, or most people, because not all of them, but most people will advertise those big successful people. If I can allow, or if I can give the proper lay the proper foundation as to an efficient way to get into entrepreneurship to make those numbers higher. If somebody was to go into any type of business venture, side hustle, like not just mindset, but how do you actually use your free time? If as soon as you get off work, there's an emergency, your kid's sick, you had a bad conversation, now you don't feel in the mood, you know? A lot of things are about momentum and the actual individual. Um, and that's why I really appreciate this conversation too, because many people can understand it doesn't have to be perfect. You
Hmm.
know, I can take a moment to find what's for me. um, as you said, the person that went into debt, that happens so often. And I tell people sometimes you don't just need money for it to work. You need money in case it fails as well.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
Mm-hmm.
many times, and less for people that are getting into entrepreneurship, more so like if I'm talking to a business owner, the
Mm-hmm.
conversation is to stop the bleeding because they qualified for this grant or they have this business loan. And now because they have this liquid capital they can tap into, it's like just because you have it there doesn't mean you have to run through it or anything like that, you know?
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
if everything goes back to what's the best next step for the individual, for the person that's working, that's been in their situation, for the person that's at minimum wage and wants to just make some extra money, I always just say, what's best for you in your context? Because like myself, I've tried plenty of different business models and I've made money from them in the first, second attempt. Some have never panned out.
Mm-hmm.
Some I still wish I had the money back, you know? And some are easier for me and my personality type than others. And sometimes I don't want to necessarily overcomplicate it because that loses people sometimes. It's like I got to take into consideration all these different things. But it's like, no, like just understand, you know, your capability and you know that you're doing this for a reason. So use that as your motivation to figure out what it is. Um, has AI and the emergence of AI made it easier, in your opinion, for people to really like transition into these side hustles? Is it an additive? Is it helpful? What are your thoughts on AI and how you can use it or how other people can use it in a side hustle?
Yeah, I think about that a lot. Just because I have been leveraging it for since ChatGPT was in beta. I took to it like a fish, and saw really its
Nice, very
potential.
smart of you.
Yeah. And I'd say like it's really hard for people to unpack uh, in that it is a very, very powerful tool. We're in some type of moment in our society is that's similar to when the internet came around, right? And a lot of people had these doom and gloom things about the internet changing jobs and losing jobs. And this actually happens throughout history over and over again. The typewriter was also going to take jobs. It
Yep.
did, in fact, just like the car did, just like every technology advance beforehand. So it's a bit murky, I think, for anybody to kind of say where this is all going. But I could tell you in my context, when I first saw it, and I was doing side hustle review, I started to see some of the advantages. And then because I have such a strong background in digital marketing and things, I started to think about what are things I typically would hire a person to do or an agency
Yeah.
to do that this could do. And one of them was like my descriptions. So when I first started with side hustle review, I put no description. I just threw some hashtags in there and called it a day. Then started to realize that the content on TikTok and Instagram will probably be kind of picked up by Google eventually, and so my descriptions are going to need to be more robust. I just give it to AI. I just tell ChatGPT, "Here's the gist of my video. Make a SEO optimized thing about it." You can go read them; they're totally AI generated. I think they're still me in my spirit because I've tuned it so much that I've come to a place where I don't question any of the facts. It knows exactly what I'm talking about. Where like it's an extension of me. But you could see, the M dashes, a little bit
Those M dashes. Oh
yeah,
my
yeah.
goodness.
You could
Not
see,
just yours, but when I see M dash, I'm just like,
yeah. I don't over criticize the descriptions because I don't think a lot of people read them. And those that do are doing it for the other. Where if I'm going to do a LinkedIn post, I highly curate that. I still leverage AI, but yes, I get rid of the M dashes and I change the writing style, not to cloak AI. I'm not trying to cloak it at all. I'm trying to get my message across. And I know right now it's like if AI all sounds the same, it will be it'll go lost in the noise. And I take that from again my background in marketing. I had a professor that say the only way you get breakthrough is if you come off different. And what AI is, it just blends in. It just starts to blend. You'll never get different unless the operator comes in. So as an entrepreneur, you have to understand that. Like, how do I more leverage than AI? You're not having AI do the thing for you. You're leveraging it for something. AI is not coming up with my topics. It's not coming up with what I cover. It's not, testing the side hustles for me, but I leverage it SEO skills that I had back in the day, but I don't have time to like do it now that it does it enough, good enough. So I think in the dawn of AI, you really have to figure out where to leverage it and how to flex it, and do not shy away from it at all because it will be part of our lives whether you like it or not.
I couldn't have said that better than myself. It's so true. And the only thing I would add on that is to let people know it's saving you a lot of time. So just remember what else you can do with that time. You know,
Mhm.
if it used to take an hour to curate something for a post and you're able to do it within like 15 minutes, that doesn't mean a person has to use 45 minutes of just working hard, but now you have some freed up time, you know?
Yeah.
Um, Being in the different AI, large language models every day for the last year now, you can see that you can see its limitations sometimes, you know. And I'm working on an AI video. I want to do it proper, but I'm really going to be touching on those different things because now we've gotten asked to like prompt engineer and stuff like that. Like it's getting very deep, and we're still at the surface of AI to some extent. Um, but
Yeah, I
that's
would
pretty,
one thing I talk a lot about is user generated content. For those that don't know what it is, it's basically, you make product videos and you sell them to brands. Let's say I pick up these microphones and I talk about how great they are, show the sound or whatever. Always in my comments, I get AI is going to kill this. AI is going to kill this. And again, from me, from my background, I know why user generated content exists already. And it's because people like me as a marketer, we're making very polished videos that then when a
yeah,
person bought it, they were like, these microphones suck. I don't like them. So then they started scouring the internet for actual
hmm,
users to see like, are those
yeah,
microphones as good as the marketer? So you're losing the point or the principle of why UGC even exists. So if you're saying,
yeah,
oh, AI is going to eat this, you're not understanding the whole plot. You're just automatically saying AI is going to eat. If anything, AI is going to make that more in demand because it's going to be so easy
exactly.
to make things. You're going to have to figure out. So I think you got to like really have the big picture if you want to take advantage of the AI, you know, transition our society is going through right now.
Yeah. Did you get a chance to watch or catch Google Marketing Live? What was it like last month?
Yeah, yeah,
They
with the all the video
yeah,
capabilities and stuff, which
they oh my goodness.
is amazing.
Everything that they're doing,
Yeah,
especially people like not solely a product, but especially people with products, they're like, oh, if you don't lean into AI now and
yeah,
just understand the benefit of it, like what's
yes,
coming is crazy, you know.
yeah, yeah.
But what would you say? Where can everybody reach you? Is there anything that you want to plug or promote? Um, I feel that you are a great resource. You make consistent content and you're truly trying to help people. Where can they get in contact with you, follow you, or reach out to get some more help?
Yeah, so I would say right now, follow me on Instagram or TikTok, YouTube. It's a side hustle review. You should find me. I hopefully you'll tag me in the description. I think right
Definitely.
now, most of my profile is a resource. I have some name your price digital products. You can even put $0. Uh, the legend that goes through the four different business models kind of describe. I tried my best to say um, based on personality traits and things you
Mhm.
may gravitate towards, what you may be good at. For instance, I find anybody that's good at arbitrage are kind of like those competitive nature video game players too, like chasing
Oh,
stats, really good at
really?
like loves to hunt for bargains. Like if you're a bargain hunter, like arbitrage could be something for you. So I outline some of that stuff in my legend, and same with like a content business. If you're somebody with a can articulate yourself on camera and stuff like that, which is kind of where I've fallen into a little bit. And I never picked that up about myself, but it just kind of naturally happened. So I would say the legend is a great place. And then over time, I am going to start a school community. I do have one in beta right now. I'm going to put more time and effort where you can start to learn just more of the types of business models. I want to hear what people are exploring, talk them through it, see what they need to, get ready to kind of explore that kind of stuff. And then a bigger picture is I'm working on SaaS myself of trying to shape up this whole industry. to a degree, and I'm gonna have a Patreon where people can see the behind the scenes of me creating what I would say is a transformative website, transformative company, actually, that would change the online learning space, I think, for the better, bringing what you opened this whole conversation with, Kyle, which is clarity and transparency. That's the only thing that's going to succeed in the coaching world, and I think it's like just not there at all to this date. And I'm working really hard to try and change the industry in that way.
I appreciate having you on. You're more than welcome to come back with anything else that you have. Really appreciate your time. I know the audience, anybody still watching, everybody's still watching. I know you guys are still there. I know you guys appreciate it. I'll make sure that I have all of Ryan's links below. And yeah, I really appreciate you coming on.
No, thank you, Kyle. I appreciate it.
Of course.